according to recent reports, Nigeria captain of the Nigerian Super Eagles, William Troost-Ekong, could be retiring from international football. Some reports says he said this to his teammates in the dressing room that he probably will be watching the AFCON, on TV. So what do you make about this statement? What do you think about this? And of course, France have appointed Zinédine Zidane as his new head coach, not for the World Cup, but for after the World Cup is done. He'll be taking charge after the World Cup in 2026. So let's dive into this. So first off, William Troost-Ekong retiring from football, international football, from the Nigerian Super Eagles. How would you rate his time as captain of the Nigerian Super Eagles, if indeed it turns out to be absolutely correct, 110%, because it hasn't been confirmed from his official handle or from the NFF's handle, making the rounds in around social media. Some journalists have confirmed this, but waiting for actual confirmation. But what would you make of his time as captain of the Nigerian Super Eagles? I think he's a very good defender. He has command, a very good penalty taker as well. So in the AFCON, he won most valuable player in the AFCON as well. And for me, I would have been okay with him going to the Nations Cup, although Father Time has began to tap on his shoulders. And that being said, when that begins to happen, that means it's time for you to go. And I, for one, have said on this channel that for me, his role should be restricted to coming off the bench, 10 minutes to go, 15 minutes to go, help shore up the defense, as opposed to actually leading the line. So if he decides to retire now, cheers to him. He has earned it. I think, in a way, getting to the final of AFCON isn't easy, but failing to qualify for the World Cup is just painful, and that'll be a smudge on his CV, as well as every other Nigerian player out there that's in this group of Super Eagles. It's just there. No matter whatever you're going to achieve, in the Champions League, going to achieve in this AFCON, the next AFCON as well, you'll be one of the most talented sides that failed to have qualified for, 2 World Cups back to back. Now the NFF, they have their role in this, and I've talked about it ad nauseum. I've talked about it at length, and I'll continue to talk about it because some people just want to hunker down and pick 1 or 2 players to blame. I have shared the blame across various players. It will be Ndidi, but the NFF, they have their own share to blame. But for right now, Wilfred Ndidi William Troost-Ekong retiring, possibility of him retiring from Nigerian football. That's fair play to him. Although there's some reports earlier on to say this AFCON would be his last AFCON, but if he chooses to retire, fair play to him. I think other people should follow suit. Ndidi, it will be, because I just think they have nothing else to offer the national team, in my humble opinion. But let's see what y'all think about it. What do you think about William Troost-Ekong retiring from Nigerian football? Now we go on to talk about a legend of the game, Zinédine Zidane. Zizou played for Real Madrid, coached Real Madrid to back Champions League trophies, something I don't think would ever be replicated, no matter how good a coach is or how good a team is, not even with the Real Madrid setup itself. So he's been appointed to be the head coach of the French national side coming 2026. Once the World Cup is over, I think this was confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Transfer Insider. Let's see if the French Federation comes out to confirm it itself. But what do you think about this if you're a French fan? What do you think about this if you're a football fan in general? Would he be the best player turned coach ever, given what he's won with Real Madrid? And if he goes on to win the World Cup and Euros as well with the French national side, which is not far, not a stretch from reality at all. So Zinédine Zidane becoming the head coach of the French national team. Top marks to him. Wish him every success. But if Nigeria comes up against you, of course, I'll be rooting for Nigeria. But can we even get there at this point? That's a question that all Nigerian football fans need to be asking themselves. Now, one other reason I decided to talk about this news on this channel today as well is not just the fact that I'm a big fan, like most of you as well, of Zinédine Zidane. His time as a footballer for Juventus, for Bordeaux, Juventus, Real Madrid, and then what he did as a coach as well for Real Madrid. Beyond that, you're a big fan of the player, big fan of the coach. At one point, I wanted him to coach Chelsea. I was crazy enough at one point to think Nigeria could get him, but that's not going to happen now, is it? So, what other reason I wanted to say this? This shows you planning. This is a team that's comfortably qualified for the World Cup, right? And in this World Cup, you won't get any argument from anyone if you say France are one of the favorites to win the World Cup. You know they're probably going to qualify from their group, most likely going to get at least worst case scenario. It will even be a failure for them to finish in quarterfinal spots. It will be deemed as a failure. Even the semi-final berth will be possibly deemed as a medium failure. They may even get to the final and lose, and it will be termed as a failure. So that's such a good side. But they've got their ducks in a row. They've got the plan set up. This is the next man that's come to take over. But Nigerian Super Eagles, what do we have? Inefficiencies, incompetencies by those who are meant to be leading. Because let's cast our minds back to the last AFCON. Once it was done, everyone knew Jose Peseiro wasn't going to come back as head coach of Nigeria. But rather than make that decision quickly, get the right guy in the building, that wasn't done. What did we get instead? We had Jose Peseiro take charge of 2 games that that his head wasn't in. And then afterwards, he went to get one of the least experienced, least qualified persons ever to coach a team, Infinity George. And I know there's some Nigerian fans out there who love to do this kind of nonsense. I know there's some out there who would say, but right now you're talking about Zinédine Zidane becoming coach of France and you're happy about it, but you don't want a Nigerian legend to be a coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles. Hold on a second. Do you see how Zidane built his CV? First as an assistant to Ancelotti the first time, and when Ancelotti left, he took over the reins, built his CV, won things, and now he's becoming a coach. So you can see that it's not just he played for the national team, whammo, make him the head coach of the French national team. Built his CV up. So the same thing should apply. If you want to get Lise, you want to get Infinity George, you want to get a Nwankwo Kanu, JJ Okocha. What are they doing to build their CV? So the same thing I would even say to William Troost-Ekong. Now you want to retire. What is your plan? Are you just going to retire, enjoy your time with your family, which you should, and then 5 years down the line, you come back and say you want to be head coach of Nigerian Super Eagles? Go on and build your CV. Get your UEFA coaching badges. Get your CAF coaching badges. Start coaching a team in Holland somewhere, in England, in Spain, or get a club, or go to Egyptian league, Moroccan league, begin to coach a side, win things, build your CV, build that ability to manage men, because once you become a coach, you're no longer managing yourself alone, you're managing men, managing egos. How can you cope with that when you don't have that experience? So let me give some opinion first off on William Troost-Ekong possibly retiring as not just as Nigeria's captain, but as a player for Nigerian Super Eagles, and what are your thoughts as well about Zinédine Zidane being appointed as the head coach of the French national team? Let me know in the comments, and just subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you on another video. Stay well, stay blessed. Bye bye.